Whenever you register anything, it means you're giving it away. Whenever you apply for anything, it means you are begging. So in the kingdom of heaven living, we don't beg and we don't give things away like our rights or our children. Well, how does this happen? It happens when mama signs the birth certificate. Unknowingly, she is registering her child over to the state. The state claims jurisdiction over the child. The child is then a ward of the state, and the state does legally have jurisdiction over your children and over you. If your mama signed that birth certificate, she signed you over to the state. That's why the agents can come and body snatch. Actually, body snatching would be as if it was a dead entity, a corpse. But they kidnap you or your children. That's how CPS works. That's how the agents of the state work. And they're not doing anything illegal. There's a maxim of equity, and it is this. Equity will not aid a volunteer. So what have we done here? We have volunteered away our rights, either knowingly or unknowingly. No, there was not full disclosure, and there should have been full disclosure. So there is something called a repudiation process where you can exit the corporation, you reclaim your rights. You're saying, I do not agree to these contracts, because they're basically saying that it's slavery. Whoever holds that certificate, that birth certificate, which is a trust, it's a title, whatever property is listed in that birth certificate or that title, whoever created it is claiming jurisdiction or ownership, if you will, over said property. Now, an actual fact is we are the beneficiaries of said property. But unless we go in and state our claim and we recognize that we are the owners and not the state, see, nobody is supposed to be owned. If we have owners, it's God Almighty, not some random man or woman that we've never met that's claiming ownership over us and wanting us to be in debt to a taxation system that is not for our benefit. And then, we're given a few crumbs, a couple of road repairs and some public school. But the public school is designed to indoctrinate your children into being a part of the regime. So, parents, God bless you. Reclaim your property. Your property is your body. And these are suggestions. You don't have to take my suggestions, but everything I teach and share and live by, these are things that I've either done or I know people who have done these procedures and are living successfully in the private sector. It doesn't make you untouchable, but it does make you less likely to be sought after, because now you are one who has standing. And the classes we teach about status, standing, and jurisdiction, a repudiation process where any false claims that have been made against you, you can rebut, reject, and disavow, saying it is not true, because it's not. Nobody owns us. God Almighty owns us. If anybody's going to own us, it's God Almighty, unless we consent. And that's the caveat. That's part of free will here. So we have free will. We can either choose and volunteer away our rights, or we can choose to stand. It is not for the weak-minded. It is not for the faint of heart. I would never recommend for anyone to do this process unless it was in their heart and soul to do it. But for me, it was. And so I did go through the repudiation process, and I felt like it was a calling from God Almighty to do this, to say, no, you're not allowed to assume that I'm a ward of the state. I declare and decree that I am a free woman, a child of God, a spirit-filled living soul created by the Most High God. I want everyone to know who they are and what has happened here. It's a travesty. It's a travesty, but there's a way out. The devil has a ploy, but God has a plan. And there are tools that you can use, and you can learn this stuff to stand up for what you know is true and right and good and righteous. And enough of this from the ones who are attempting to trick us into believing that we are less than, that we have to bow down to a false master, or that we're not worthy of the love of God. I can assure you we are. I love you. God bless you. Please learn about the repudiation process, correcting your status, masterclass. Americansinaction.info. Americansinaction.info. And I love you, and may God bless you on your path called you.